if they lose more kids out of spring, they're not happy with the depth chart or whatever, then they're going to, by definition, take more to backfill those kids departing. So if they didn't lose anybody, nobody leaves at any position from here until the spring window closes, how many more do you think they add? They're at 16, like 4 or 5 more? What do you think?
I think even maybe I might even go less than that, than 4. But I think you're looking at, you'd like to get another tackle, offensive tackle. I think if you can get a defensive tackle, and that probably falls in the best available category. Certainly, if they don't add another receiver, then I think you would add another receiver. And then I think they would like to get another edge. So that equals kind of your 4. So, yeah, I don't see it going beyond 4. Personally, if you don't lose anything else and you feel like everything's kosher and it's good, and the roster's kind of close to what you want. And I told Tom this last night. I'm really shocked that they got so close to meeting everything that they wanted. There wasn't far off, and I think that speaks a lot, and that's a big positive that I don't think it's talked about enough, because the guys in the spring are the ones that you're beginning the battle with. So you want to have majority of your guys. Sure, you can throw a sprinkle in of 2 or 3 or 4 in there, but you don't want to have a major group where you're taking 9 or 10 in the spring. So I think they accomplished that plan, but yeah, I think it'd probably be 3 or 4.
That's a good. Yeah, I was going to say you weren't kidding when you said they're almost done. Yeah, if that's only it, then they're
Yeah.
pretty much almost done. Wayne on Facebook is asking the question: any idea if we're going to go after another quarterback?
No, simple. They're not going after another quarterback.
The offensive line, 4 to 5 players. Is that enough? What do you think, Michael?
I think it's enough. I think if I mean, that's the thing too, is it's not just the 4. You're getting 4 starters. So when you get 4 starters and really productive guys, to me, that kind of lessens the number of what I think you get 5. I would like to see one more. Yeah, if you could throw a 6 in there, great. But you also don't want to overload this roster where you have some guys that you feel like, hey, these guys can help us. Maybe ones that you haven't seen, like a Lucas Simmons or somebody like that, that you don't want to detriment their your development by just getting greedy and taking over what you really need. I think 5 it puts them in a really good spot. So 5 for me.
Give me a broad idea of what we can expect over the next month from Florida State as high school recruiting replaces portal work.
Yeah, I think you transfer over to obviously 2026. There'll be a few 2025s in there. Tonio Cromartie Jr. is coming over for a visit on January 18th that weekend. Obviously, I feel good about that recruitment. I think the tweets pretty much spoke for himself of the excitement level that Tony got when his kid got an offer, and then and they've been consistently coming to FSU. So sometimes it's really good when you get Christmas present. That's one that I feel like you'll see in there. But I think the main takeaway is I want to see kind of what the feeling is with these coaches when they're around these coaches, these FSU staff that come in there, and just the connection that they have with a lot of these high school coaches, and then to the high school prospects, because I'm particularly intrigued by the most is Herb Hand, because I want to see there's such a strong history of development with his history. When you look at what he does, I want to see just how much that really gives FSU a big amount of juice compared to the other teams. And also I'm interested to see what they do in South Florida. You got 3 or 4 guys now on the staff that are really tight in South Florida. Tim Harris Jr., Evan Cooper's really good there. Tony White's very good there. Terrence has some connections as well to the South Florida area. So I want to see what they do in that South Florida area in this next 2026 cycle, which kind of leads me to the segue of my hot board coming up I've been working on. Nice. I can honestly tell you guys I'm through about almost all the offense. There's a few things I got to trickle up, but I'll start working on the defense. But overall, and I will tell people straightforward, Tom, we're straightforward. I'm almost flying blind here because a lot of the stuff I'm doing, I'm basing on intel and research and digging of guys that I feel like would connect or have a connection with either Terrence Knighton, Evan Cooper, or Herb Hand, that that maybe there's a history there, or I've heard behind the scenes this is a guy to watch. So a lot of this is flying blind. Some of it's a little more easier when you talk about the quarterback position and just positions of the guys that have been here. So it's a lot going on with that coming up. So I've been really working heavily on that. But yeah, those are kind of my keys for the 2026 of cycle of those are things I want to see about this new staff. And two, just when they have that big January 18th junior day, I want to see kind of what the vibes and the feelings are. Not so much the commits. That's great if you get some, but most kids commit like 2 or 3 times. So I don't really, you want to put too much excitement in that, but I just want to see the reaction of how much juice it really brings with that group and that staff and just the way they connect with recruits compared to what we've dealt with previously.